I don't want to be, I refuse really to be one of those people that look back on the previous decade or two when it was fairly clear we were on that slippery slope, we were on that trajectory, and I did nothing and I said nothing. I just refuse to be one of those. I'm gonna say something. You know, it's I feel like it's the least I can do. You know, I'm not going to go out there and do anything violent, of course. I'm not going to take any massive action. I've been on a few marches. I feel like they're mostly worthless. The authorities ignore it. I went on the anti-war demonstration in London in the Gulf War II. There was like, I think there was nearly 1 million people there, and the government utterly ignored it. The Pentagon had already made up their mind that they were going to go to war, so they utterly ignored it. So I don't think that going out on a demonstration or even having fistfights with Antifa is kind of pointless. But I'm going to say something. If I can write articles and have them published, no matter how small the readership, I'm going to do that. You know, I've got a voice, I've got a pen. I'm going to use it. And I feel like if enough people sort of refuse to be quiet, just in their own lives, just in their own circles of friends and family, yeah, it's gonna piss off some of them, and that you're going to lose some friends, and you're not going to be as close to some family members as you might have been. Well, that may be the price we'll have to pay to not end up in a type of Maoist dictatorship, where where your friends and family squill you up, and you end up going to a camp. And you may not survive that camp because you were guilty of wrongthink. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. And I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. I wouldn't be able to sleep if I didn't do anything. If I didn't say anything.
I know. I totally agree. I mean, you're right that the impulse you have is totally correct. And it reminds me of like court jesters back in the day, and nowadays comedians, where things are funny because they're true. And because they're willing to push the envelope and say things that might cross the line or make people a little bit uncomfortable, and yet it still has either a kernel of truth to it or more. And now with YouTubers and people who have microphones that never had microphones, it's almost like there's a jester class of content creators who have had to come up and fill in the gaps, because you've seen comedians get canceled left and right. Is there a comedian standing that hasn't been canceled? Because they're, trying to do their job and they're getting shut down by the outrage mob. And it's so sad because this is a role in society, and now we're recently going through a dilemma of what is a woman, and, oh my God, we can't like agree that biology exists and sex is real. Otherwise we're going to get canceled. And you see the power being wielded from topic to topic, and it's going to be another topic, but it'll be the same dynamic, and it'll be the same people getting crushed under the weight of that censorship.
Yeah, again, of course, I'm preaching to the converted. I'm preaching to the choir here, having a conversation with you. I know you know this.
Okay.
But if you never stand up and just stare somebody down who's trying to bully you into not saying the truth, if you don't, in real terms, in a real life conversation, face to face, if people don't more stand up and say, no, I don't accept what you're saying. No, for example, the gender thing. No, there are two women. There are two genders. It's as simple as that.
Women? Tell me more.
There's you've got an X and a Y chromosome or two X chromosomes. That's it. Or, you might be able to, you shouldn't even really concede, but you could say, there are a very, very, very small number of genuinely intersex people. But beyond that, no, there's two genders and that's it. You're talking nonsense. I'm not going to accept what you're saying. And no, I won't shut up. No, I'm not going to. I refuse. And then take the repercussions of that. Now, if they want to go mad, they want to sort of literally scream at you or something, well, so be it. Because if not, then we end up in a truly mad society, a truly mad world.
It's disgraceful. Also, personally, I'd feel embarrassed if I let those things stand. It reminds me of Hogwarts Legacy and J.K. Rowling. When I see her on Twitter, that is the art of fuck you money in practice.
Yeah.
So she is so insulated and safe and secure. She's her own ecosystem that she can say whatever the fuck she wants, and she's just like I'm gonna, put my foot down and say that womanhood is a thing,
Mm,
which is,
mm.
kind of a fundamental part of, I guess she's what, a second wave feminist or something. But
Yeah,
like,
still a
okay,
feminist,
great.
but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think even the men who are against feminists, which I know Don Sargoon is, would concede the point that women exist. like, like, um, so I think we can agree on that. But like, I feel like what I'm trying to do at Subscribestar now and censored.tv AIU coupon code is have my own brand of fuck you money. It's not huge wealth. I'm not a millionaire, but like, if people support me, I can say whatever I want the
Mm,
same way that J.K. Rowling can. So fuck you money doesn't have to be massive, Joe Rogan level. It can be just, viable. But
mm,
to do that, you have to have the support of others.
mm.
And so like that's why I honestly probably wouldn't even be doing these things. I'd just be, huddled away making my videos if I wasn't hobbled by Patreon recently.
Mm.
But it is nice to come out and have a chat.
Yeah, no, I mean it's always a pleasure to speak to you. I would like to, if you want to, come on again or come on History Bro and we'll talk about history or something. But
I'd love it.
I just wanted to do, if we could give you any sort of voice here,
Hmm.
because it's just a true injustice, where what your crimes, your thought crimes, your
Hmm.
crimes against sort of the woke world order are, of course, not crimes at all. Of course, you
Yeah.
haven't done anything wrong. You've been tried by them and found guilty for something which is morally good.
And I,
So
I dare them to tell me what it was. I mean, I wish they would. And I'm sending them emails. I sent them one today. And I'm saying, tell me what I said, and then
yeah,
let's discuss it. Like, first of all, I've been with you for 10 years, earning you money. I've made thousands of videos I've posted to your platform. Apparently, in one of these videos, I said something so atrocious. I mean, I know what I say.
mm,
My fans are all like in full agreement. They're like, this guy is not hateful. What are you doing?
mm, mm,
It's simply a spasm of their discomfort on the topic of race. Obviously, it's politically motivated. They're activists. They're doing this because they just want to carve out a world that they are more comfortable in and silence the opposition. And this ties into Carl. Carl was banned from Patreon for a ridiculous reason. Ridiculous.
mm,
They violated their own terms. They found something he said off platform,
mm,
and
mm,
they neutered him. The difference with Carl, though, is that he had a platform at the time. He had a massive YouTube channel, still does, and he just told them what happened and said, "Hey, come to Subscribestar," and they all did. And he probably ended up making way more money. I don't have the YouTube platform that I once had because I've already been banned from that. So I'm sitting here sending out mass emails to my patrons, and 10% of them are opening them, and it's like I got to resell 1,000 people. It's not happening.
mm.
So it's look, for most people it's like, okay, another act of censorship and Patreon's left-wing scum, we get it. For me, it's like a personal tragedy that my career is now teetering in the balance because half my income just got jacked for no reason.
Mm. Yeah. What's the guy's name? Jack
Conte.
Conte. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
he's a weird one. I
I,
don't like his vibe.
I don't trust him
Mm-mm.
at all. At all. Just everything about him is untrustworthy. That's what I was saying earlier about how a lot of people are a bit credulous, a bit too trusting, because just on the surface of it, he
Mm-hmm.
seems he seems fairly reasonable. He seems fairly nice. But of
Yeah,
course, like stop being naive, stop being
I know.
crazy. Of course, he's an ideologue. Of
I mean,
of of course, he's an arch
yes,
leftist, and
if
he
I said,
means to destroy freedom of speech and freedom of expression in all sorts of ways. Of
yeah,
course, come on.
yeah, I know it's happened many, many times. If I say to my father, Dad, trouble on the work front. The Trust and Safety Board at Patreon, a multi-billion-dollar company in Silicon Valley, have deemed me in violation of a hate speech policy.
Mm,
What do you think he's going to say or think? He's going to
right.
think, "Oh, what did you say, you asshole? Like, what did you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
You clearly did something."
Yeah.
And like, if I explain, Dad, they have no case. They've presented zero evidence of this. Uh, I mean, the fact that they think they have a fair process and I'm supposed to appeal something when they don't even tell me what I did is, it's lunacy, it's surreal, and it's embarrassing. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
explaining that to them, like that your system is so completely corrupt. They are the prosecution and the judge that I'm appealing to.
Yeah. Yeah.
The prosecution is the judge, and they come in and go, "You're guilty." And I go, "Of what?" And they go, "Don't worry about it. You're guilty."
Yeah.
And they're like, but you can defend yourself. I don't. The defense rests. Am I supposed to prove a negative? Like, this is,
Yeah.
it's insane. But like, there's variants of the same insanity that all of you are aware of. This one happens to hit close to home. This is not some blue-haired girl in her attic spitting nonsense. This is a person that just shut off the money valve to my life because of this bullshit.
It's like I would call it a kangaroo court, but it's not even a court.
Yeah.
There was no trial.
No.
There was no trial. You were just found
There's no
guilty. I mean, the idea that it's hate speech as well. I mean, it's because, again, on the surface, that sounds terrible. Like, someone, even if they suspect you said something hateful, it's like, but
okay.
It's just nonsense. I mean, I myself on History Bro got one warning. And ever since then, the channel is completely strangled. It couldn't be more strangled for hate speech. And I made a video where it was World War II footage and an AC/DC song. There was no speech. There was no speech at all.
Just a piece of art.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was like a World War II footage music video type thing. I didn't say a word. Nobody said a word. It's literally all that was. And so, but no, it's hate speech. So and I had to say to some people I know, or like again, my dad, he said, like, what's going on with it? And I said, well, they've accused me of hate speech. And the look on his face, like, what did you do? What did you say?
Exactly.
You dirty little Nazi fascist. What on earth did you say?
Right.
And when I explain it to him, he's like, oh, well, that's mad. That doesn't really make any sense. That's clearly unfair.
To watch the full video, please become a premium member at lotuseaters.com.